Well, greetings, friends, and welcome back to Extraordinary Connection. I'm glad you can join me here as we continue to take time this day, this and every day, to spend some time in God's Word, to spend time encouraging and supporting one another, to spend time challenging each other. My name is Pastor Devin, and I serve at Romeo UMC, and I am glad to be here with you today. And I realize that this will vary depending on where you are in the state, or even more so for those outside of Michigan, but I have to say that if you joined Pastor Dylan yesterday in saying a prayer for some snow, well, chances are pretty good that you're looking out your window right now to some answered prayers. I know I see a lot of white outside that window right now. My kids were thrilled to see that there was even more snow this morning than when they went to bed last night, which also reminds me that I have to make this a little quick today. I got to get over to a scheduled snowball fight that'll be taking place a little later this afternoon. But today, I wanted us to look at a word that, whether we realize it or not, it might be one of the hardest words to say. And strangely enough, it only consists of two letters. Those two letters are N and O. No. Now, as I say that, I have to laugh to myself just a little bit because right now at my house, there is a 20-month-old little girl who seemingly has no trouble saying that word. She can say it to anything. Do you want more to eat? No, as she stuffs her face. Do you need to go potty? No, as she sits down to go on the potty. She has no problem saying it loudly and proudly. So how can I say that a word that a little child can say so easily, how can I say it's such a hard word for us to say? Well, maybe it's because we need to be a little more like a child, a little more willing to say no when we need to say no when we know it's the right thing to say, what we want to say. Because instead, too often, we worry about what might happen, what will happen if we say no. Well, if I don't do it, then maybe no one will, we tell ourselves. Or maybe even worse, we think we have to say yes because we don't think anyone else is capable of doing it. Or we worry that we'll hurt someone's feelings by saying no. We'll make them upset or they'll be disappointed in us for saying no. So instead we say yes. We don't want to disappoint anyone. We don't want anyone to be upset with us. And we attempt to keep the peace because frankly, it's just easier most of the time. So we take on additional responsibilities. We try to cram more into our already overloaded schedules. We say yes. Maybe right now, especially, saying no can be a difficult thing. Perhaps in the past few weeks or in the weeks to come, you'll have to say no to a family gathering or a gathering of friends. You have to say no to an event or an outing, something that you look forward to doing each year, something that isn't going to be possible. You have to say no when you want nothing more than to say yes. Well, first, I want you to know that you're not alone in your struggle. Many are facing those same tough decisions during these difficult days. Many are mourning the need to say no to those invitations and opportunities. But the second thing I wanted to remind you of is that in the scriptures there are several occurrences of individuals who said no because they knew it was the right thing to do. They said no even as they acknowledged that it could have consequences. In Genesis, Joseph said no to Potiphar's wife and her advances. In Esther, Queen Vashti said no to King Ahasuerus and his vile, drunken requests. In Daniel, Daniel said no to bowing or praying to anyone but God. And in the Gospels, we see Jesus say no to Satan and his attempts to lure him with promises of reward, promises of great riches. Each of them faced a choice. Saying yes could have led to those rewards, those riches, to maintaining a position of power, a lifestyle. Saying no wasn't easy, but each of them did. They did because they knew it was the right thing, the right answer. They knew that the easy answer, the people-pleasing, worldly answer, was not the right answer. So they said, no. So here today, let me affirm it for you one more time. It is always okay to say no. If your convictions, your comfort, your safety depends on it, it is always okay to say no. And right now, especially maybe right now, it is okay to say no. Saying no might be the most loving thing you can do. It might also be one of the most difficult. But know that my prayers are with you in these difficult days. As you find yourselves having to make difficult decisions in the days that lie ahead, decisions that may require you to say no. I pray God's guidance for each of us as we navigate these unprecedented times. And I pray for the Spirit's comfort and reassurance when we find ourselves having to say those two little letters. But until next time, my friends, stay safe, take care, and God bless.